Yesu, Nazareth. Oh God, this dog. Honey, you need to leave. Daddy's at work. You're a dog. Go outside. Good. Good afternoon. I understand that there are colleagues of ours that are in East Africa, so I think it's still morning for them. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this master class. We will give it a moment before we begin. Um, let's give it another maybe 2 to 3 minutes before we begin. I will record the session, the master class, and those who want the recording, please reach out to Dagmar. Dagmar will definitely be able to share it. And probably the recording will only be available next week, not this week. And Dagmar will definitely share it on various platforms that she's reachable. I know she's quite active on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm not sure if she's on Twitter, but I'm sure if she is, she'll definitely do. But she will also be sharing her social media handles. As I would like to iterate, I understand I will mute everyone for now until we get to the Q&A, and then I will unmute people so that they can ask questions. So we want the end to be more interactive. Ask as many questions as you would like. We're not saying we're going to have all the answers. However, we will do our level best to put you at the in good stead of your pitch deck to ensure that whatever investments that are on your lap, you eat them up. So let's give it a moment, and I will be joining you again in another 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to thank you for joining us for this session. And I appreciate your time and being on time for this session. We will record the session for future future use, and you can obviously, as I have already stated, you can request the recording from my colleague Dagmar, who will be our facilitator for this masterclass. I would like to welcome Dagmar and thank you so much for being so charitable with your time, as always, giving insights to our entrepreneurs across Africa. And I believe we have Ghana, people from Ghana today, and few people from India. I see my colleague from Egypt. Okay, we have a lot of countries represented today. So Dagmar, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know this is a crazy time because people are preparing for exams, those who are doing PhD, the submission is in 2 weeks, and so on. So Dagmar is a serial entrepreneur herself, and she's a founder and CEO of Funding Connection. She comes with vast knowledge in how to capitalize startups and how to table proposals that are scaling. And those who wish to connect with Dagmar, please, at the end as well, I would like so that you can share your costing in terms of your bookings, so to take people through your services as well. And I would like you a little to do a deep dive in terms of your services, so that people know where to go to whenever they are faced. They don't know where to start with proposals. They don't know how to structure pitch decks. They don't know how to do financial projection. They don't know how to do feasibility studies for their business. So Dagmar is an expert at that. That's what the core of her business is to help entrepreneurs succeed in business. Dagmar, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Xolila. Thanks very much also to the Wadhwani Foundation, of course. I'm always honored to be invited here. And Xolila also knows I'm definitely having fun doing these things. I like to share my experience and my knowledge. And okay, and I will keep that in mind to share everything at the end. I am not too clued up here with how to share the screen, but okay, there's the share button. Okay, I just share the screen. I think that's the easiest for me here. And now I want to do the presentation, and then we can start. Okay. So can you just give me a thumbs up? Can you see my screen, Xolila? Okay, because I can see you here. Thanks very much. Okay, lovely. What do we do today is how to draft a pitch deck. Let me just move our pictures here somewhere. Can I do that now? Must be. Now are we a little bit smaller here? No, now we are gone. Okay, so I want you to see the full picture. Short and crisp about myself. Yes, like Xolila said, I'm the CEO and the funding strategist here at Funding Connection. Yes, I am a serial entrepreneur. This company was started by myself, was a one-woman show for years and years and years, until I was brave enough also to say, okay, I can't do this on my own. There's so much need for what I'm able and capable to do. Let me just hire staff. What do we do? In general, we assist entrepreneurs to raise capital, and we do that through drafting business plans, financial forecast, investor pitch decks, and at the end, we are also raising capital. We are using majority of our clients. We definitely recommend here in South Africa government institutions, but we also go to commercial banks, to other funds and private investors. You still hear that. I can't hide this. I am German. I've done similar things in Germany. So even if somebody from another country comes and says, can you have a look at, I have a good understanding of how this works. And as long as it's in English, we are always able to assist. Okay, so whenever you do something and you always have your goal in mind. Okay, so Xolila mentioned this with the proposal or a pitch deck. What do you really need? What do you want to achieve with this? Yeah. And if you have your goal in mind, my suggestion is always try to imagine what this person really wants from you. Yeah, I know it's sometimes difficult, specifically if you never ever pitched before, or you never ever asked for any funding or support before. It can be a little bit difficult, but let me tell you, in most cases, when I do a little bit longer workshops, people come up with quite a long list of what they would like to find out from the entrepreneur, that they are comfortable to really invest in them. Okay, so here are just a couple of tips. Start clearly defining the purpose of your pitch deck. Either way, it's for competition, it may look a little bit different. I've seen a couple of pitch decks also and helped to develop some for competitions. And so they are usually giving you a nice list of what they are expecting from you to be covered in your pitch deck. Make sure it's covered. Okay, so don't think, oh, that's not important, or I don't have any information about this. Try to make sure that you really cover that if it is for competition. If you go to any of the investors or financiers, also be absolutely clear about what you want. Are you seeking funding? A pitch deck can also be you're looking for a partnership, or maybe you just want to present your idea and get some feedback. If you've never ever pitched and you never ever done something like this, my suggestion is always watch a couple of these lions or dragons dens, because it gives you a good idea, definitely what questions the potential investors will ask you. So, and then again, you see how important that is, understanding your goal, what you want to achieve, okay, will help you to structure and tailor your pitch deck. So have your goal in mind. What do you want to achieve? Know your audience. Now we come to the next topic. It's nice if you know exactly what you want to achieve, but so you also need to know what is your audience able to offer you. If this is a competition and the competition offers 50,000 Rand and in your pitch deck you ask for 6 million, makes no sense. Yeah. So you need to narrow that down and say, okay, my first step would be doing some trial runs or something like this, and for this is where I would be able to use the 50,000 Rand. Yeah. If you're pitching for, let's say, with any of these institutions, with the bank or with any other fund, have a look what they really also expect from you. Most of them have definitely clearly outlined what they are expecting, what they are able to bring to the table. Here in South Africa, there is a small enterprise finance agency. They can usually go up to 15 million Rand. Yeah. If you go there with a proposal and say, I want 100,000, makes no sense. National Empowerment Fund, if you want to pitch there, then and it is below 250,000 Rand, they will also say, we are not the right people. Yeah, you see how important it is really to know your audience. I know it feels overwhelming because whatever you're doing here is all new to most of you. Yeah, so it feels a little bit like overwhelming. So I'm just giving you a couple of tips here, and do one step after the other. Don't think you can do everything at once. Yeah. So research your target audience to understand their interests and expectations. Customize your pitch deck to align with their needs and priorities. Have a look if there's anything. So we do a couple of, we have done pitch decks, and in most cases, so if you say now you go from maybe from a financier and now you go for an investor, there's only a few small little things you really need to change. It's not that you're changing the full pitch deck. Yeah. If it's financier, you need to show that you are able to repay the loan. If it's an investor, you need to show them their return on investment. Yeah. Tailored pitch deck is more likely to resonate with your audience, and they yes, because so they don't say, oh no, that's not for me, and then they shut down already. Specifically, let me tell you, if you are in the audience and need to listen to a couple of these pitch decks, that can be, it's exhausting, okay, because you're concentrating all the time. You want to make sure that you get everything correctly, make some notes. And if there's anything where you say, oh, that's not for me, then you shut down. And maybe I haven't listened then to the most important parts in any case, where I would later on then say, oh, that's interesting for me. One thing what I like also to highlight, what is a pitch deck? I was always talking about competition, but a pitch deck is usually, it's like a carrot for a potential investor. Yeah, you are asking somebody, hey, this is what I want to do. I need, I don't know, 5 million rand to start this up or to grow my business. I need this for some equipment. If investor usually says, send me a pitch deck, then you have a, I don't know, 10, 12 pages pitch deck, and extracting the most important parts. Yeah, most important parts for an investor and a financier is the business model. Yeah, so that means this is the extraction of a business plan. And if an investor says that's interesting for me, they usually say, send me the full package with the business plan and everything. Yeah, so the pitch deck is the carrot. It does not need to explain everything in detail, but it needs to make an investor so curious and so interested that they say, I want to see. Okay, so this is sometimes, usually when you see these pitch decks, they always say, outline the problem, paint the pain points, okay. And this is, in some cases, you can do that. Let's say if you want to create a new app or something like this, yeah, then it makes sense to, you want to do something, a normal product, then you maybe need to outline the problem your customers and clients have with the existing suppliers and what you are doing differently. Yeah, clarify the problem, pinpoint how your product or service addresses it. You can use data, use examples to illustrate that, and then also share the urgency and the potential impact solving this problem has on everybody involved. Okay, now we are talking about presenting your solutions. That is also about, if you don't want to make this complex, you can also say, okay, so now you're presenting your product or your services. What do you really want to do? Talk about your unique solution, your unique selling point, your value proposition. Explain how your product or service will solve the problem you identified the page before, and highlight key features and benefits that differentiates your solution from competitors. If I'm talking about like this, it sounds like, okay, what does she mean? Let's talk about funding connection. Okay, so if you think about the page before, so the problem is, and the pain point, that lots of entrepreneurs know they want to start a business. And the biggest problem for them is really to find, to raise the capital. Then they see all the different government institutions, the loans, the grants, what is available. And all these funds have usually 20 pages, rules and regulations. And if you don't understand the language, and I'm not speaking about English language, I'm speaking about the language of these government institutions and these funds, you don't really know what they want. And you don't really understand, that's definitely a big problem here for our clients, for which of these programs do you qualify? Yeah. So now we're presenting a funding connection solution. So funding connection, number one is the first step we are doing is we are determine if the business idea a client has does even qualify for any of the loans or grants. Because harsh reality is not every great business idea is fundable. Yeah. So, and then we say, okay, yes. And I'm a no-nonsense person. Okay, so I had a couple of clients. I'm having usually a couple of meetings a day, and I am not afraid to clearly state this will really be difficult to raise capital for this idea. Yeah. And then I'm highlighting the challenges I see. And then I'm also explaining, okay, so you are a startup, you want to start from scratch, find something, lowest hanging fruit, what are you good at, what can you offer, do you have access to a market? Yeah. So we do consultancy here, that would be one part. We, of course, also then offer, okay, your venture and your idea is fundable. Please make sure you have this in place. And then we can assist you with drafting the business plan. And at the end, that's also something what differentiates us from lots of other business plan writers. We see us as business plan consultants. We are benchmarking everything against businesses and ventures we've done before. We are using our common sense and experience and expertise and figuring out why do you need 60 staff to manufacture 2 units a day, and then we question these things. And at the end, we, of course, also, we know what financiers want to see. We are confident. We have a high success rate. You see, now it looks a little bit more, now I understand. It's a little bit more tangible for you. That's why I thought, let me just bring some examples here. And not only these theories, so that you have a little bit more of a clear understanding of what I mean with present your solution. Yeah. Okay, so now market opportunities. This is usually something what in most pitch decks is just required. You have really a look at, okay, so let's say how many entrepreneurs are there? How many people want to start? How many applications are declined by government institutions? That's how I did my market research at that time. Yeah. I've done similar things in Germany, so I knew how to do these things. I just wanted to see, after a couple of people asked me when I came into this country, can you help me with this? Is this really a great business idea? I figured out, okay, government releases billions of rands each year. Okay, so as loans and mixed between loans and grants, there's definitely a demand. There were only, I think at that time I found 2 a little bit bigger consultancies. They did similar things. So, and I thought, okay, this is a great idea. It's definitely a market there. Yeah. If you want in your pitch deck even strengthen your market opportunities, you mentioned that you secured some offtake agreements. Yeah. Business to business transactions, then you are able to do some offtake agreements. Okay. Business model. This is crucial. This needs to be strong. If you would see me, you would see that I'm showing you here my 2 hands, and this business model is always, it's like a puzzle. You have lots of different parts. Most of the time you have an idea about all these different parts. The trick is now that this needs to fit together. Yeah. So you need to describe really your business model. What do you want to do? Funding connection. We are a consulting firm. We want to assist entrepreneurs to raise capital. We want to do that through business plans, financial forecast, pitch decks, company profiles. We are just at the moment busy with the product market study just to send worldwide what is available there. Is this something people would be interested also here in South Africa to implement this? Yeah. Provide insights into your competitive advantage. Yes, we know we are submitting on a daily, not on a daily, on a weekly basis, but definitely daily to different financiers here in South Africa. We're getting regular feedback, of course, from all the financiers, and we know if anything changed there, if they really want to have something differently prepared in business plans, in our financial model, we can implement that for this existing client and immediately also, of course, implement it for all future clients. Yeah, this is definitely an advantage and, of course, guarantees our sustainability. Describe revenue generation strategies. Please, please, please do me a favor. Don't say I make R1 million or $1 million in a day. Yeah. So make sure that you explain exactly how you come up with this number. How many units will you sell? Okay. Per month. How much is 1 unit? How much will you charge? Because a financier or an investor wants to see if this is competitive, you know? So if you, I don't know, let's say you want to sell cars and then you say, oh yes, my cars are will be each 20,000 rand, and every investor would then already be a little bit scared and think, okay, how is the quality of your cars? Okay, and what problems do we foresee? Either way, it's too cheap or it is too expensive. Yeah. So this here is really, really important, and it just does not mean, okay, we are able to sell, I don't know, I think the business plan this morning I read, I think they thought they can sell $25 million per month. Yeah. So maybe they can. I'm not doubting this at the moment. Yeah. I'm just saying, please describe a little bit how you come up with this number. How many units, what do you want to offer? What product is it, you know? And then, because I remember that there was one guy, and it also comes back here to this market opportunity. And I can't remember what product they wanted to offer, but they were also at a high number per month, what they thought they can sell. And we did the business plan for them. And then we had a look at the target market and also had a look at the total market. And he thought he will start with a bang and he will kick out all the competitors and he will take over all the competitors and the full South African market will be serviced by him. That is a bold move. Yeah. And again, nothing against it. The chances are quite small, and you definitely need to have a great pricing strategy, great distribution channel. Your marketing strategy needs to be really strong to be able to do that. Yeah. So your pricing, how much do you want to charge for it? How much will it cost to produce, manufacture, or create it? How will you distribute? That is also something what is absolutely important. Remember the puzzle parts I mentioned before? Okay. Let's say we all together manufacture now toilet paper, and we manufacture, I don't know, 100,000 rolls a day. Yeah. So now we say we want to open a shop at this factory and sell them one by one. 100,000 rolls of toilet paper per day. This, if selling it to end users, is quite a task. Okay. But if we now say, okay, we are doing it and selling it to wholesalers and retailers, and they are getting packs of, I don't know, 50,000. Okay, then this all looks already a little bit more manageable. Yeah, because you need always to think about the space, the time, the staff. Yeah, and if you're manufacturing, you are usually, my recommendation is always sell to then to wholesaler and distributor and retailer. Don't sell one-on-one. Yeah. Yes. Outline your customer acquisition plan. What does this mean? It means how will you market? Yeah. So now if you want to sell to wholesalers and retailers, you just need to approach them. There's no other way around it. They will not knock on your door and say, yay, you're the only one who's manufacturing toilet paper here and we want you. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. You need really to think about how can we approach them. And these are also things when you come up with a business idea and you think this is, let's say, it's a startup. Maybe also if you need to reposition yourself a little bit, be clear about this and think about it. Because if you are selling also, here you see already how this is all intertwined. Because if you're now selling to end users, one roll of toilet paper, can I quickly calculate this? No, I can't. Let's say it's 5 rand. Okay. So, but if I'm selling in bulk, maybe one roll of a 10, I know there are only 9 pack. We make it easier. A 10 pack is not 50 rand, you know. You can't sell it to the wholesale seller and retailer for 50 rand. You need to sell it cheaper. Yeah. So you see your distribution channel, your customer, your ideal customer, all this also determines your pricing. And all this determines, of course, your revenue generation. Yeah. So, and all this also determines who are your competitors. Yeah. Because if you want to, let's stick with the toilet paper. Okay, to make it a little bit easier, if you want to sell toilet paper to end user, your Pick n Pay and ShopRite is your competitors. If you want to distribute to Pick n Pay and Boxer and ShopRite, then another manufacturer is your competitor. Do you see the difference and how much this all is connected? Yeah. And my recommendation is really be clear about it. And sometimes if you think about it, then you're thinking, oh, shish, I see that lots of times. People are using then the retail prices when they price their product and forget that they are selling to retailer and that the retailer, of course, also needs to make a profit. Yeah, and that means they are outpriced themselves already in this business model. Take your time, think this through. Okay, traction, milestones. I would always recommend to have something like this in your pitch deck. If you're trading already, share this. Share what you achieved. If you have any licenses, if you have any permits, if you maybe secured already offtake agreements, if you set up already a pilot factory. In some cases, people have done this. In some cases, people also were able already to have the environmental impact assessment done for the property they want to set up the factory, or they have secured any permits or licenses, whatever is relevant to their business. Yeah. Or they have already sold units and maybe they went into partnerships with interesting partners, when financier or an investor can say, oh, okay, so they will partner with these people, they know what they are doing, because it gives you a good reputation when you mention this. Maybe you have already customers, you secured offtake agreements. Whatever you accomplished here, I definitely highly recommend to put the traction and milestones into it. Let me tell you, most cases when I'm talking specifically to startups, people say I have no traction and no milestones. And then I'm asking them questions, and then we figure out, oh, they have, because they are experienced in this industry, they build already relationships, maybe with suppliers, maybe with customers, yeah? Dive deep into this. This is really, really here important. And if you show there a couple of things, what you have achieved already, it makes it easier for an investor or financier to nod and say, oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's how far they are already. That's what they achieved already. I'm impressed. Okay, now team and expertise. Let me just think. So number one is just make sure you mention names. I've read, what's today? Thursday. It was on Monday, I think. I read a couple of business plans from somebody, and there was no name at all in this whole business plan. Under company, they just said there's an experienced director is involved, and I have no idea who the director was. And under team, they said, oh yes, we have an experienced operations manager, an experienced female sales manager, and she has done this, no names. Okay, if you can add some photos to it, that is always a little bit personal. If not, that's okay too, but then just showcase the strength. For South African diversity of your team is always important, and also diversity of a team in regards to skill sets and experience is nice for an investor. Yeah. So that they just can see, okay, so there is one person does sales, one person does operations, there is an CFO also to make sure that all the numbers make sense at the end of the day. Yeah. Short and crisp. This is not a CV for everybody. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, let's say you have 2 or 3 here, 1, 2, 3 heads, and then a little bit of explanation, what job they will do and about their expertise. That's what you should add here. Yeah. Financials. To be able to present any financials in a pitch deck, you need to have done proper financial forecasts. Yeah. If you have existing, if you're trading already and you have some track record, then keep in mind under traction, you can have that in there. Here it is about the projections, you know, so your revenue, your expenses, your growth potential. And my recommendation is always, and I have a couple of times discussions with people about this. Okay, so let's say you're asking here for 5 million. Doesn't matter, 5 million rand, $5 million, you know, so, and you're expanding exactly for what you need the 5 million, what impact this 5 million will have on your business, how many units you are able to sell, because an investment always then determine the size of your operation. And of course, then how much your revenue is, and then of course also what is your profits. Yeah. So, and then this is really a one shot. If you want to, you can say, okay, future plans will be to grow further and to do an expansion after 2 years, and then we need later on another 5 million rand. My experience here in South Africa is definitely it confuses financiers. Yeah. So my recommendation is stick with the number you want to apply for, explain exactly for what you need this, and then provide a realistic, well-supported financial forecast. And the forecast is cash flow forecast, income statement, balance sheet, loan repayment. There should be a breakdown for what you need, the money, how much working capital you need, about your salaries and wages, you know. So, and our forecast also has a few ratios, some charts, just to make it a little bit more visual for our clients and the investors. And then you can then decide what is relevant, what can I share here. You know, don't show, this is really, you know, this is how much money we need. I don't know, 5 million rand for this equipment. And we've spoken about the traction. Maybe you secured offtake agreements. And with these offtake agreements, our sales will look like this and our profits will look like that. Keep in mind, if they are interested, they will later on ask for your business plan in any case. Yeah. Yes, if you see any potential risks and you think this is important for your financiers and investors, you can explain that and also explain how you will overcome them. Yeah. Let me just think about what are risks are. Okay, so one risk is, let's say for funding connection, definitely how will we get, if I was asked now for an outside investor and say I want to have 3 other offices here, they will ask me, okay, so how will you be able now to reach additional potential clients and customers? Yeah. And I would need to explain this here to them and say, okay, we do some regional ads, or we have already 86,000 newsletter subscribers at the moment. And we know majority of them are in Cape Town, Joburg, and Durban areas. And if we say we're having another office in Joburg and in Cape Town, we will be able definitely to target the right people there because we have them already in our newsletter system, on our social media. I don't even know the numbers. I think somebody told me on Facebook we have over 20,000 followers. Yeah, so we would be able definitely, but that's a risk for a financier. Okay, you want to set up a new office. How will you be able now to find new customers? Why are you not able to serve your customers in your existing office? That would be maybe a question they would ask us. Yeah. Okay. So now, call to action. Whatever you do. Okay. If you do this here in a pitch deck, you do any marketing, you do any posts online, this is critical here. Yeah, you need to tell people dummy proof what they need to do next. You have no idea. I'm sure you saw lots of our ads. You know, we are quite active, definitely at the moment, also on Facebook. We have tried LinkedIn advertising. We also tried Google. Facebook is working at the moment the best for us. And if you go there, there's always a button on our ads and it says, click here to download, you know, or click here for more information, you know. I still have lots of comments below the post. Okay, I need more info and how do I get this? Yeah. So that's why I say dummy proof. And also here for an investor pitch deck, you need to clearly state what you want, you know. Maybe you say, okay, I am interested in a partnership. I'm looking for somebody who is able to manufacture my product for me and help me also with sourcing the raw ingredients or you know, so, or you say you are asking for funding. I need 2.5 million rand. I want to invest that in some equipment, you know, so be clear about what you really expect. That was also something I remember the last time I was in the panel, that some people just didn't do that nicely. Yeah, so I said, okay, interesting presentation. I like what they are doing. So, but what do they want from me? Yeah. Important contact information. And let me just talk a little bit about the presentation itself. Last year when I was in one of the panels, I haven't seen that before that many times, but at that time it really caught my eye. Lots of the entrepreneurs, they thought, yippee yay, I don't need to know everything out of my heart. I just have my phone and then I'm reading my notes. That's not a presentation. That is boring. Yeah. Prepare for these things. Present it also to some friends. Is it uncomfortable? Yes, I know. I know all about it. Yeah. So, but it gives you the confidence and to stand there, because it is always different if you just want to impress your friends or you want to impress an investor and you want to ask them for 2.5 million rand. Yeah. Questions, offer. Do you have any questions? Can I clarify anything for you? Don't be scared. I promise you, my experience is with these questions, 95% the entrepreneur was able to answer the questions. If there is one question, for some crazy reasons, I know you are nervous when you do this, you are not able to answer, or they just caught you off guard and you thought, what the heck do they want from me? Okay, you always can say, I'm not 100% sure at the moment. I will come back to you and email you this answer. I don't want to say anything what is wrong. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the correct answer. Yeah. What you can do at the end is, if they don't really have any questions, you can just summarize and say, you know what, I need 2.5 million. I need to buy equipment. I have secured offtake agreements. And this will enable me in 2 months to generate monthly sales of 300,000 rand with a high profit margin of 50%. Yeah. So this is something what you also can mention then at the end. And then you just thank everybody for their time and consideration. Okay, let me just skip the Q&A. We do that. I'm not forgetting this. Okay, so my tip, softwares, apps to use this. There is the old-fashioned PowerPoint. It is, I've done my first presentations years and years and years ago, definitely in PowerPoint. It is not fun. We love to use canva.com. It is a free online app. It does this pretty, and you have lots of templates. If you are not a designer, and you don't need to be a designer, make it pretty, make it consistent, consistent with your colors, with your fonts, with your size, font size, but it's not art. Yeah, I've seen only a few pitch decks and also business plans. They look like art. I personally think it's a waste of time and effort and money, of course. Does it need to look pretty, well prepared, well thought through? Yes, but it does not need to be a work of art. Canva.com is great, beautiful AI. We use that too. It didn't convince me. I still like Canva, but I just thought, let me mention this. So that you have a little bit of options, what you can use there. Okay, now here are all our contact details. Go to fundingconnection.coza. If you want to email us directly, use the admin email address. Cherise is there, will be able to answer all your questions. This is our cell phone and WhatsApp number. You can also write this one down, of course, and contact us. So Xolelo asked me exactly to explain what we are doing. So we are doing everything what you need to be able to raise capital and grow your business. That means we do business plans. We have a standard plan for up to 1 million rand. We're charging 6,000 rand for it. We have a pro plan for up to 5 million rand investment. We are charging 8,900 rand for this. We're having is this correct? Oh God. 10,900 rand for that. And we're having a premium plan that is up to 10 million rand, and we are charging 15,900 rand for this. Included always is the financial forecast, exactly how the financiers expect this. Yeah. So IDC has different requirements. They have specific requirements for balance sheets. We have that specifically for them developed. I developed all the financial forecasts here on my own. We changed the pro plan. Also, there are short-term and long-term loan repayments now included, because that was the last feedback we received 3 weeks ago. We implement these things immediately. We can do investor pitch decks. You find all information about all our prices for the basic services for up to 10 million rand on our website. Yeah, pitch decks, company profiles, assistance to raise capital, applications. Really, everything is clearly stated there. If it is above 10 million rand, I do individual quotes. It depends on investment amount. It depends on where we can apply for, of course, and it depends on how complex the business idea is. And because we know what, let's say, one of the financiers want, we just then offer you really to make sure that your business plan, that was the wrong button, sorry, your business plan is the right version, or your feasibility study is the right version for what you really need this. That's why we are always, you can't just come to us and say, I need a feasibility study. We like to know exactly for what you need this, because everything is tailor-made here in-house. I have 12 team members here. They are helping me. It's not everything I am doing. And they are experienced, everybody in their own part. Maybe it's also interesting for you. So I'm setting this up like a conveyor belt. Okay, I have everything in my own head. And I know how things are working. I can think in this complexity, and but getting everything out of my head into another head is really difficult. So that's why I said we have one who does the financial forecast, we have one person who does the research, we have one person who does all the meetings with the clients. Michelle is really, really good at this. And then she gives the information to the relevant staff members. We have one person who does all the applications and who's checking all the documentations. So it's really, really, you have experts at every given contact point. Okay, so I think I can stop sharing now. And we can just start with questioning. So Leila, did I forget anything?
Not at all. You have covered the essential. Actually, just before people actually ask questions, I just wanted to demonstrate what Dagmar just covered, what it would generate. I'm going to use a very simple pitch deck, and you will see what everything that Dagmar touched on. It is there. I'm going to take 2 seconds, don't worry, Dagmar, just to show everyone what you were talking about. Hopefully I can see. I just took one of my students' pitch deck quickly, who's doing the solar panel solution, and look at how simple it is. So okay, Dagmar mentioned and emphasized that the data that we are tabling needs to be so clear and easily understandable. Look at the business idea being explained here, what the venture does, what problem they are solving. Do you see? Summary right at the beginning, up front. So by the time an investor is listening to you, they know what they are listening to and why they are listening to you to begin with. So it's a call it tongue in cheek to say, wait until I blow your mind. That's what I call this slide. And Dagmar talked about contextualizing a problem and the opportunity that we are facing. This is exactly how we teach our entrepreneurs. By the way, we teach entrepreneurs how to build businesses for free. What we do, we don't do what Dagmar does. We are called as a pro bono college that actually does a teaching of entrepreneurs on how to build businesses or how to start a business. She also spoke about the depth of the problem that you are solving. So you do need to interview certain customers to describe that. She spoke about your market sizing. What is the size of the opportunity that you are pursuing? Here, tabled so nicely, clean, and luckily this person even used references just in case an investor asks, where did you get this data from? Customer persona, who are you targeting? Give me insights in terms of that. What are the pains that you are solving? And she mentioned articulating your solution. Perfectly done. Not a lot of data. I would have made this slightly bigger if I was this person. Competition analysis. Critical. Who else is playing in your space? Who else is in the space that you're in of business? Do you know what will make you different from them? And our business and key distinguishing factors. Here it is, tabled so nicely. So I'm not going to go through this slide by slide, Dagmar, but I just wanted them to see exactly how all of this would look on a pitch deck. She spoke about your forecasting. Here's how, look at how simple this forecasting has been made. The first year of operating, what are they expecting? Profit and loss forecast and all of that. But this is made very simple. Dagmar goes in greater detail, but I want to use your word, Dagmar, because you use it like so proficiently that this is a pitch deck. It's an enticing document to say, I want you to give me your time so that I can explain exactly how I'm going to make you rich, or why partner with me, or why invest in me, or why borrow me money to begin with, and how am I going to pay that money back. So your pitch deck will actually articulate this. Dagmar mentioned about your team. Look at how the team is, and I will insist and say, put your pictures there. Let people know you. Put your pictures as your team. See, co-founder, CEO, what are their strengths? Co-founder, CTO, what is it that they do? Co-founder, CFO. So everybody's got a role to play. What are they bringing to the table? What are their expertise? And what will they be doing in the business? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to touch on my end before we take questions. Now, Dagmar, we have the floor again. You can raise your hand and unmute yourself. You should be able to unmute yourself now. Tato, yes, go ahead, sir. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Allow Mike. Yes. So unmute yourself, sir. You should be able to. Tato, Image, let me just see. Tato. Hopefully this is the one. Yeah, Tato, you're unmuted. You should be able to speak. Go ahead. Okay. Any other question? Anyone with a question? You can type it and I'll read it out for you. I'll try to read it out. Hopefully it's succinct and clear.
Okay, so Tato just asked here, are we going to get a chance to present to potential investors? That's a question for you.
No, that's not what we do. We teach you how to do it. That's what we do.
Okay, somebody else says, awesome. I'm Kanego from
Can you can unmute yourself and share your questions?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Can you please help me write? Yes. So I'm having a business, but it's still a startup. So I'm having problem when it comes to making the financial projections. I can't even mention when it comes to pitching the financial projections because it's still a small business. I've just started it, but I'd really love to enter some competitions and pitch.
Okay, so that's also something I understand. What you need to think about, how much capital do you need? Can you see that?
Okay.
You know how much capital you need?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Are you telling it to me or not? Is it a secret?
No, it's not a secret. I need about 60,000 rand.
Okay, and you needed to buy equipment.
Yes, equipment and also the inputs, which are seeds, because I'm in the agricultural industry.
Okay, so now what you need to think about, let's say I'm giving you the 60,000 rand now. Okay, so and now you need to think about how much are you able to sell now with this? You know, you buy the equipment, you buy the input. It takes you, I don't know, 3 months to set up everything, and then you will be able to sell, to manufacture or produce how many units a month?
Yes.
You know, and that's the number you need to think about it. And then you need to think about it, okay, number one, how much does it cost me really? So your cost prices, and for how much am I able to sell it? So that's then your sales assumption.
Oh, okay. So when you're saying that I should know my cost, you're talking about the expenses.
Yes, of course. You need also to be clear about your monthly expenses.
Okay.
And the cost of production. So it's yeah, the whole chain. Yeah, it's just that I didn't go to the slide when I was demonstrating what a pitch deck should look like. All of those details. By the way, we can book a time with Dagmar on those details. Dagmar's team will help you in doing all of that.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's only a pleasure. Okay, let's go. Mercy Paul, you can unmute yourself.
My questions are based on the children because most of the time I'm doing programs with children. So now the schools are saying I should do, what is this, program plan, business plan. And then I must be able to have consent forms. I haven't come up with a name, one. Two, I don't know how to go about it because I've been doing it voluntarily to the schools. And it's a challenge now because they are saying I need to have a profile of myself and what am I doing. Because I'm doing motivation in schools, I'm doing, it's an enhancement program of how the children should grasp in schools. I'm trying to make them to shy away from the 40%. So learning how to instill or grasp information from the knowledge in class. So no, I think one, if I may be able to do that business profile. Two, be able to have this what is this consent form.
Okay. Ma'am, I think I got you, Ms. Ntombela. Dagmar's team, again, please reach out to them. That they are actually expert at that, and they will help you in terms of creating a business profile as well. I think Dagmar did mention the cost of doing all of that, but if I just forgot it on top of my head, but you can go to their website as well, Funding Connection, and I will send an email to everyone with Dagmar's contact information so that each and every person may have it. I might not send it today. I will send the email next week with the recording, the link to the recording. So do reach out to Dagmar's team, and they will definitely assist you with that. These are experts in that area, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So Nozipho, that's not a problem. We are definitely able to assist you there and guide you there. Okay. Let me just ask here. I'm reading one. How many slides must you have for a 10-minute pitch deck? It depends on you. So I'm usually doing it like this. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm having now 1 hour time. I had, I don't know, 15 slides, and then I divide 60 minutes by 15, and then I know exactly how many minutes I have per slide. And if you have for a 10-minute pitch deck, 10 slides, you know you have 1 minute per slide. That is maybe a little bit short time. You know, so this is how you figure that out. It has something to do with how much are you able to talk about one slide. Okay, next. Mocha?
Hi, can you hear me, Mr. Dagmar?
Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you. Good day, everyone. I am Mocha from a company called Excel Projects. This one is directed to you, Mr. Dagmar. In one of the things that I've seen, especially with the enterprise development programs from these various companies, when you, to those who funds idea or developed when the concept of the developed idea, they will ask to be vanished with I think it's 3 years. Yes, 3 years audited financials. So I wanted to check with the services that you provide. When you classify the services you provide and you mention their costs as per the range, does that also include the audited financials, especially that you said it is always tailored as per the required what do you call it? So I just wanted to check with you. Are your charges also include those audited financials, or those are separate?
No. Okay, so we just pay 12,000 Rand for our annual financial statements. It's definitely not included. Okay, so we do financial forecast. Okay, so keep in mind, annual financial statements about the history. Yeah. So to reflect everything for our beloved SARS. Okay. But of course also for us and for potential investors, or if you want to raise capital via a commercial bank. We do financial forecast. You're getting 5 million Rand. What impact will this have onto your business? How what equipment can you buy, how will the sales will increase, how much staff do you need to be able to do the sales? You know, all these things are in our financial forecast.
All right, no, clear.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so
Akonke Zwei, you have the floor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for this empowering presentation. So I just have a question that's directed to Dagmar, and thank you again, Mr. Sohuma, again, for clarifying that part where I have to specify each and every member of the company, what are their strengths and weaknesses. And I've been following Dagmar for quite a long time. Even the sessions on Facebook, I always attend them. So, but I just have one question. So with the pitch deck presentation, so is it wise if you sort of follow the guidelines? Because I've seen CIFA that they have guidelines on how to have a business plan. So if you follow those guidelines that are in CIFA's business plan on how to create a business plan and a pitch deck presentation, so is it okay if you follow them? Because they do have a template that they have there online, as well as the funding connection list of criteria for funding as well.
Okay, so put yourselves in the shoes. You are now working at CIFA. Okay, your job is to read business plans. You're reading 5 business plans a day. And everybody does their own business plan according to own templates, you know, and you want to make it as easy as possible for them to nod and to go through all the processes. Why do you want to make it difficult for them? And I sat there at an economic development corporation in Germany on the other side of the table. I had a pile of applications, okay, and if everything is standardized, and it makes it so much easier. You know exactly, this is there, this is there, this is there, this is there. Okay, I have all the information. Instead of now just creating, do you need to use the ugly template? No, but make sure you cover all the aspects they want to see in the business plan. Yes.
Thank you.
Africa Seasoning, you have the floor. Okay, please.
Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Afternoon. And Dagmar, thank you very much for this informative session. I would just like to know that between Wadani and Dagmar, who can assist one in terms of being able to craft a compelling pitch? And do these pitches apply to investors and as well as to our customers? Like, I want to know that a pitch that I will present to the customer is totally different to the pitch that I will present to an investor.
Yeah, okay. So let's imagine Xolela is the investor. So you want from him 5 million rand. Okay, you do a nice pitch deck and you need to share all the financial information. Yeah. And now you take the same thing and you want me to become your customer. And I'm saying, your profit margins are 50%. I think that's too high. I think you can go down in price. Makes no sense to give me this information. You know what I mean? So you also don't need, yeah? Okay, so great, you understand. So, and then also for me as a customer, maybe which equipment you're using can be interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking about I'm mentoring a company, they do small little electronic boards, okay, and manufacture them. And for their customers, what equipment they have is absolutely important. So that's something what you would need to share then also with me, but of course also with Xolela, because he is also interested in what machine you want to buy. Yeah. So you need to think about, that's why I said, remember in the beginning, what do you want to achieve. You can use your pitch deck and also then present it to a customer or potential customer. You just need to make sure which information do you really want to share and what is not relevant.
Okay. Your second part of your question, yeah, yeah. Okay, don't worry, I've got it. So we think of us as a college. So we teach people on how to build a pitch deck for their own businesses. So we teach you how to ideate up to the slide that I've shown you. That was one of my students that they've just completed recently. And we have an intake so it's a 14-week course that you need to take. So exactly how to pitch and how to table that idea onto a slide and all of that. So that's what we do. That's what we teach. And at no cost, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp, and I'll send you a link on how to subscribe to the next cohort.
Okay, and then the last one, Dagmar, when you're talking about the competitors, I think I understand, or I thought I understand competitors very well, as well as the distribution channels. You mentioned where you said Pick n Pay is one's competitor. Let's make an example with myself. I manufacture spices from scratch and sell them. Now, under my competitors, I have not listed Pick n Pay as my competitor, but I have listed Pick n Pay as a distribution channel, because my competitor, according to my understanding, is Robertson's, or I can say now it's Tiger Brands, now that all these are under one roof. Kindly clarify me there on exactly who is my competitor here and whether direct or indirect as per your statement.
Okay, so that's why I said you need to be absolutely clear to who do you want to sell. Okay, if you decide I'm manufacturing it and I'm selling it to end users, then Pick n Pay is your competitor. But if you decide I'm manufacturing and I'm selling it to Pick n Pay so that they distribute it to end users, then Robertson Spices is your competitor. Yeah, so that's the difference. That's why you need to determine who's your target market, and then you need to think about who else satisfies this target market. Is this clear now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I want to take you back just a little bit to expand on what Dagmar has just mentioned. So you are selling spices. You can read the example that I've just shared here. This person makes body lotion and all of that, and soaps that are organic and blah, blah, blah. And Pick n Pay does sell this stuff. Pick n Pay could be an ally, depending what is part of your distribution channel. So if Pick n Pay, you're not intending to have your product at Pick n Pay, then Pick n Pay becomes a competitor. However, if Pick n Pay now is one of your distribution channels, they are not a competitor. They are likely with what we would call a channel partner. So you do need to have this language in your head embedded to know what is a channel partner and what would be my competitor. Just because somebody is selling the same product as you doesn't mean that they're a competitor all the time. They could be a channel partner for your product or service. Hopefully that was clear. Somebody else had their hand up. Mr. Faxon Chanda, we have the floor. Yeah, you're freezing. You can unmute yourself, sir.
Okay, let me just do here. How do you protect yourself from investors taking your idea and business plan? There's just one question. Faxon, you just try to unmute yourself in the meantime. So you need to think about also what information you want to share in this pitch deck. And keep also in mind, as soon as you pitch this to any competition, it is really difficult to get it then the IP protected. through patents. Okay, I wasn't aware of this until somebody else we figured that out together, and I thought, oops, I didn't know this. So you need to be careful. You can have some NDAs to protect you a little bit. If it is really something what is now really new technology, you can do a provisional patent for this. But I know the funny thing is lots of people are worried about everybody is taking my idea and my business plan. And most of the things I came across, I found already online that somebody else has done that before. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. The biggest advantage you should have is in any case your access to the market. And then you can do that. And then you're not challenged. I'm not too sure. So Lila, do you want to add anything like this?
Yeah,
because I
I'd
know
like to-
Wadhwani Foundation is also quite good with these things.
Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, that should be the last of your worries. Actually, you can learn more from your competitors more than anything else, and than anybody stealing your idea. Because, guys, apart from the guy of Please Call Me, it is rare, seldom, internationally speaking, where somebody steals your idea. Your speed and access to market is your advantage. There's no one who can think like you do. No one can execute your idea like you do. Imagine how many people have thought of building nice lotion and all hair products and all of that. None of them are in the market. That should demonstrate to you as an entrepreneur that that's the last thing that you should be concerned about. Yes, if you come in with an innovative idea, a cure for AIDS, I know UKZN has found a cure for AIDS, so you are late already now. So let's make an example of cure for AIDS. Now you're going to present for funding and all of that. Perhaps an NDA will be quite necessary in that case. And most of this pitching competition, unless if it's in a public forum, generally all the judges, of which I typically judge, we all sign the NDA because we want to protect you as an entrepreneur, but we also want to protect ourselves so that we don't act with impunity in this kind of setup. Boitumelo, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. It's really assisting us in many facets of our businesses. And I'm also one of the followers of Funding Connection, and I was once a student with Wadhwani Foundation in Polokwane, hence me raising up a hand. I have trained ECD practitioners in KZN, and I have seen the need for them to be trained in the programs such as Wadhwani program. So I need to know, how do I become a partner of Wadhwani to enhance the Wadhwani program that we have received, to give it to them, for them to also be able to be standing on their own? I would love to do that. So I need to know more.
One, we do train facilitators that you can, so that you can render the course at your own accord in your own institution and your community at no cost. So you can use the platform as if and when you need to, and we will take you through the program all ourselves. So do reach out to me via email or WhatsApp. We can connect via that channel. Having said that, we do have monthly intakes throughout the year, where we take entrepreneurs to train them up for 14 weeks, so that they can produce the slides similar to what I've just shared here on this platform. So you have two ways that I've mentioned. You can become a partner by us training you so that you can facilitate the course in-house, meaning you facilitate it in your community, the community that you serve, and the entrepreneurs that you're looking after. And the second part of that is this: whenever we have intakes, you can just send your entrepreneurs directly to us. They can subscribe and enroll for the 14 weeks course. Thank you
so much.
Yeah. Okay. Chanda, you still can try to unmute yourself. Faxing? Okay, good.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's good to be part of this. I'm actually currently at the Solar Storage Expo at NASREC in Johannesburg. Yeah, my concern and question is, I'm an engineer. I've developed a security system that is able to use solar. One of the major features that is able to detect if someone tries to open the gate, the lights would come on and then make a lot of noise with the sirens. So it is based on a principle that if the intruders would actually do it because it is quiet and also it is dark. So we provide the necessary light. And then it can also be an office. During the day, you can sit there, do all the business. But when you knock off, you activate it, you enable it, then you are going to have the necessary noise if someone steps in that room. One catch thing is for as long as there is no intruder, the system is not using any power. So I have two concerns. One, on how I can get the support that is needed. And then two, I'm based in Johannesburg, but I'm actually a Zambian. How do you assist in this area?
Okay, so you want the question to me or to Solela?
Any of you, please.
Okay, so how much capital? So let's be honest. So I think this idea sounds really, really interesting. I can imagine that there are a couple of interested parties. They would love to partner with you. My first question is always, how much capital do you need? For what do you need that exactly? And then we just can have a look and see to whom we can present something like this.
Yeah, I think what is mostly required is just to set up more or less like a showroom where you can have this facility put here. For example, if you want to demonstrate that if a person jumps off the fence, lands in your yard, they are going to land on this system that will be able to tell that somebody, in fact, you'll be very surprised because immediately just lands, then is going to have all the necessary noise and all the lights flashing, even some very, 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 very bright. This facility can also work for a correctional center, for example, a prison, where maybe 3 meters from the fencing, you install it. No one would walk there because the noise and the lights would actually wake up even the guards or the wardens that are working there. So it is purely about setting up a workshop where we can demonstrate the doors opening, the alarms going on, the gates are moving, the alarms and lights coming on, and also the windows also opening. Even the fencing, the electric fence, and then also protecting property that you install, such as maybe generators. You also maybe you have the cash, the rooms that where you put cash. You want to know what is happening, and it is 100% using solar. No intrusion, no use of power. So it is just setting up that. And then when you say how much, I think it's not something that will have to exceed 2 million rand. Just to be less than that.
Chanda, sorry to cut you, Chanda. Do you mind setting up a time with Dagmar, because that's her field of expertise? She will assist you with that. I don't want to eat up too much time. I would like to give other people opportunity to ask. But thank you so much for asking the question. But I think that the question needs more time for Dagmar. Set up time with her team. I've shared her contact details on the chat on the side so that you can get in touch with her. But thank you so much for tabling that. I'm not quite sure the non-South African how you'll find funding. Typically, there are channels in which the government tries to assist, but I'm not quite sure what those are. But thank you so much. AS Mahlangu, we have the platform.
Okay, let me just hear. Mohamed asked me if they can ask for funding and a partnership together. when they do a presentation, of course, you can do that. Yeah. Okay. Mashlangu, just go ahead. I'm just trying here to be multitasking. Okay. Somebody says, Marie, she maybe has the right investor for the solar company where you did shared the presentation. So maybe she should just get in contact with you, Xolela. Okay, yeah, no. So let me tell. We answered that already. Okay, go ahead, Asmashlango.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, ma'am. I would like to ask a few questions. The first one, it will be, do you do fundings on the platforms that you just mentioned, that if you are doing the business plans cost 10,000, I had this few different prices on your site. But do you do some fundings
Okay.
by your site? That's
Okay,
the
so
first.
Funding Connection does not offer any funds. We are a private consulting firm. We assist you to raise the capital and apply for funds.
Okay,
I'm having a look usually at what is your idea. I determine it is fundable. In some cases, ideas are not fundable. If it is fundable, we say we can assist you with the business plan. And in the second step, we can also assist with raising the capital for you. Yeah.
Okay, then how to access that, ma'am? Should we?
You would just go to our website, fundingconnection.coza. There's a contact page, or there is a button coming up on the right-hand side.
I've just shared the contact information and the contact page on the chat.
Okay, lovely. That's not a problem.
We need directly you, Kanma, not the other people, because I think you are the best on this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Direct contact that I can get directly to you, not the other ones, because I think I need to deal
No,
with.
no, no. You need to go through my team. Okay, so my team is great. I have an amazing team. Yeah. So, and they help me. I would not be able to service all of our clients without my team. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you need then one-on-one consultations with me, that's also, it's not a problem. And I promise you my team is great. Otherwise they wouldn't be here. I'm German, I'm efficient, you know, so I can promise that. You had some other questions?
Sam, Maripani, you have the floor.
Thanks, Xolela, thanks, Dagmar. Mine maybe is just specific, industry specific to you, Dagmar, if you can hear me loud and clear. So I just wanted to find out, like, the big institutions that you mentioned before, your NEFs, DBSDs, and all these other guys. Like, because I know they will need financials for you to apply for most of their. Okay, that's an answer. Thank you very much. But other than that,
well, they need financial, but the financial that they need is projections. They do need financials, and that's what Dagmar does.
Okay. You need the projections. Everybody reads, oh, they need financials, and then they say, oh, I don't qualify. They do finance startup businesses. You just need to have access to the market. That's the key. Yeah.
Okay, and then just to bundle, the follow-up question to that was, do they do credit checks on the directors and the business or not?
Of course.
They will do. Okay, and then, yeah.
If you are irresponsible with your money, how are you going to be responsible for money or for the business money? So it makes sense that they have to check, sir.
Yeah, some of us, we are coming from COVID and we are crawling and we will stand up very soon. But nonetheless, further than that, because I don't understand the general analogy across like industries, especially financiers, because like I'll be specific, hence I said maybe mine is specific to a use case of some sort, because I'll presume that there is like a lot of market activity happening in the rural and the townships, correct? For whatever, maybe retail trade and everything else. But if someone comes across, like in a case where we are looking at commercial property, it's always like named or termed speculative a business of some sort, unlike maybe when I'm going to retail, like maybe maybe I'm going to manufacture lotions and stuff like that. But having said that, the question is, on your database on maybe monthly basis, do you have people who are more focused, or businesses rather, who wants a refinement on their pitch decks that are more focused on commercial property, not into the higher LSMs of your Sandton and your Cape Town CBDs, but more into the townships and the rural areas, number one. And then just there, how is the success rate or the hit rate in terms of maybe the investors, the financiers, and the partners responding?
Okay, so in general, we are picky with what we are taking on. Yeah, so we are not taking on everybody. I'm picky. I always feel like number one is I want to protect my own reputation, because we have a great reputation also with all the financiers. And I also don't want to ruin our 80% success rate with applications. So in general, if you want to do property development, also in rural areas, we've done lots of business plans also for shopping malls, or they call it different now. So if they are open, so not closed here in rural areas. Yeah, definitely. There is an appetite for it. You need to have a feasibility study. There are a couple of things you need to have first in place before they even have a look at you. So, but definitely possible.
Okay. All right. No, thanks. That's it from me then.
Okay.
Marie, you have the floor. You may unmute yourself.
Hi, guys. I just have a quick question. This kind of funding, is it mostly for manufacturers, or is a service company also able to get funding? Because in my case, I started my own business in 2021, and I thought I would get 12 clients, and then the business suddenly outgrew me to the point where I'm almost losing money. I was recently hospitalized because I had complete burnout, and yet I still daily gain customers. So I've got so many customers, but the workload is so much that the company is actually suffering due to that, and the income is suffering because I cannot uphold all of this. Is it possible to get funding for something like that, or do I need to change my business model? What would you suggest?
Okay, so Anne-Marie, you are in a position most entrepreneurs would love to be. Okay, so if you need some help there, what services are you offering, Anne-Marie?
I'm basically helping people get appointed to boards, and I do some training as well. So my only real product is some training courses, but then I work on a success fee basis. So I've got so many clients, and I literally have a client on at least each continent. But at the moment, my clients run up to about 120, and I've got a waiting list now of people wanting to sign up. So
Anne-Marie,
work is just much.
set up a meeting with me, Anne-Marie. We'll sort that out quickly. I promise you that.
Oh, thank you so much, Dagmar. I'll do that.
And you don't need funding for this. Okay, so you do not need, lots of people think money is the solution. Money is not the solution. It is about resources and restructuring things. And I have already 20 ideas how to easily sort that out.
Thank you so much. I'll reach out to you as soon as possible.
Please.
Fantastic. Onika, you have the floor.
Okay, let me just, how does a pitch deck work for an NPO? Let me just answer here one more question, Onika, and then it's on you. Again, think about what you want to achieve. Okay, so you want to pitch, obviously, to a sponsor. Then you need to put everything according to what do you need from the sponsor. Easy peasy. Okay, now it's your turn, Onika.
Thank you so much. Before I can ask what I'm supposed to ask, I see an opportunity with Almarie. Please do a franchise business. I'm available. My question, there's something that breaks my heart. I know a man was working with, we'll say, telecommunication company. They were retrenched. He knows how to fix and install cell phones, and now is subcontracting that telecommunication company. And he has the potential of employing more people and training people to be technicians. But the challenge with this man, he don't have a proper vehicle to go to clients and fix and install cell phones. So I don't know, Dama or Kolela, how can this man be assisted? Because I think he's an instrument like Elmery to employ more people under him. But the problem is resources. If there's can be someone who can say, I can give you my vehicle to work, or you can pay, it's heartbreaking. I don't know how can it works. I'm done.
Okay, so Annika, the first thing is what I would do if I would be in his shoes, approach CEDA. Okay, they can help with a little bit of small marketing. If he can, let's be honest, if he can repair cell phones, he doesn't need to drive around. He can sit in a shop and do that from there. Sometimes you just need to think about, I'm always thinking about how I started.
Excuse me, maybe I didn't say it well. It's not cell phones, it's landline for telecommunication company. They go to clients' premises. The problem is the vehicle is got a Skorokoro vehicle. That's the problem. And he's losing more work with that previous employer.
Yeah, then he needs to think about, you need then to think about what are you able to do in this situation like this. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what Solela says, but my recommendation is always lowest hanging fruit for you. What are you able to do? And if you don't have a vehicle, then you need to find something what you can do where you don't need a vehicle. Earn enough money to be able then to buy one. Or partner with somebody, so as Uber drivers and Bolt drivers, and you just say, okay, let's do that together.
Yeah. Well, perfect suggestion to Dagmar, by the way, because that would be my route as well. Your immediate consumers of your product would typically be on your locally. So just get the ball rolling with the ones that you can service at the time being, and as you are partner with other people who may have vehicles as well, that will give you access to a car. So there are myriads of ways that they can think about accessing a mobile car. So that's my answer to that. Mr. Kuzwayo, you have the floor.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
My name is Mpendulo Kuzwayo. Currently doing my third year in varsity. I'm aspiring interior design. So basically, interior design has helped me to gain skills such as product design and development, software applications, and marketing and sales, digital marketing, communications, and presentations. So I do have a business idea. Unfortunately, my business is not registered yet, but actually looking forward to doing that. The problem area and industry that best connects with me is environmental sustainability. What do I think I feel connected with this? It's because it has been many years since global issues related to environmental disasters, floods, and the drastic change of weather temperatures were issued and raised upon these matters of global warming due to climate change. Since primary, I have been an environmental awareness activist, which was also led by my natural sciences teacher. This participation has made it easier for me to understand the side effects of global warming leading to climate change. And personally, when I resided from the township in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, where I was born and bred, there had been multiple heavy rains and like demolishing the infrastructure and households. The municipality has tried to regain, like to sort these issues out by actually rebuilding the roads and bridges. There's also been so many personal experiences that I've faced that has also made me try to pursue this innovative idea. Enhancement of quality of life, where people's physical and emotional health is positively impacted by well-designed places, smart professional interior designers, lower stress.
So how can we help you now?
So basically, my idea is creating a foundation for creative individuals to actually collaborate to create those ideas to become like, you know, a reality to them. Because I've seen previously a politician was saying the youth in South Africa is not brave enough to actually tackle global issues, but which is not the case, but because we actually need platforms like this to present our ideas, our innovative ideas, to actually create businesses.
Okay, Mr. Kuzwayo, I think I got your point. Thank you so much for asking the question. So there are a couple of ways to access people to listen to you. That's one. Second, to listen to you and where you can present your business ideas. CEDA is one of those. TIA is one of those. CIFA is one of those. ITC has plenty of competition where you have to pitch. Even you can just go to Google, say next coming up pitching competition, where you as a young person can pitch your business ideas, where you can get access to funding and finding opportunities that you are looking for. That's one. The second part to that, Dagmar can assist you in building a pitch deck that you can use to present to donors and funders, where you build this institute that in pursuant of. So there are avenues that you can touch on. I've shared Dagmar's contact details on here, and also her website is best if you go to her website to schedule some time. Hopefully you did look at the price list for a consultation with her team. But thank you so much for asking that question, and kudos to you. We need more brave young people like yourselves who take up the challenge of entrepreneurship, and because it's not easy. Trust me, it's not. Dagmar, let me take this opportunity to thank you.
Don't you want to answer all the questions in the chat?
Oh, didn't I?
Quickly?
Okay, let's do that quickly.
Okay, let me just go through it. Amidu, sample pitch decks. Go to canva.com. They have nice samples there. Does this type of pitch work with service companies as well? It's only for manufacturing. Anne-Marie, it also works for service companies, no problem. What is your success rate in acquiring funding for clients? The ones we are taking on, 80%. Okay. Let's say I take the business plan as well as the application process. That Funding Connection connect us to potential investors or funding bodies? Yes. We submit the application on your behalf, and they then go get into contact with you. Dagmar, in the process of starting my consulting business, I was in an incubation program where I compiled a business plan. Will you be able to help me qualify for business grant, as I'm an Indian female along in my business currently? Consulting business grants, I'm not aware of that there are any grants. Okay, it also depends on what you need the money for. We would just need to have a look at it. Also, of course, keep in mind, we always say we usually start with applications from 500,000 Rand. My team begged me to go down to 200,000 Rand, okay? But I'm always aware of the cost and the time and effort it costs us to do that, yeah? There may be some small little grants available here, maybe some regional grants. That's something where you just need to have a look at. Is it possible to get the slides of the pitch? Do you assist with drawing of the year focus? Not too sure what that means. The slides, yes, you can get. how to book a meeting with Dagmar, fundingconnection.coza. There is a booking page. What do investors prioritize when evaluating a pitch deck? Investment amount, expertise. Usually they are betting on the jockey, don't forget that. And access to market is in most cases relevant. And yes, profitability, so if your idea is not profitable, you will not find an investor. Send me the recording. Yes, we will do that. Yes, yes. So Leila, please also share your details. They have done that. Please send recording. Yes. Okay, that's there. How to book with Dagmar. Somebody put that on there. God, oh God, there is no sound. I don't know what's happening there. If you need funding to create e-hailing app, usually funder will want offtake agreements to check if your business is viable. So in this case, in an e-hailing app, where can I get the offtake agreements from? Because the app will be used by public members. That's true. That's a problem. The question is, of course, is there enough space for another e-hailing app? Okay, because so I have already Bolt and Uber on my phone. So am I willing to have a third one on there? No, I don't think so. And that would be one question. And then if you can't get offtake agreements, they don't need offtake agreements, but they need you to prove how will you access the market? Where do you find the taxi drivers from? So that will be a little bit of a challenge. I'm not saying impossible, challenging. Share customers with us. Anka. Yes. Okay, so sales. No sales, no business. If you have no sales, it's a hobby. Okay, I'm straightforward with you and I'm saying it like it is. Okay, so that is the trick. That's always the trick. How do you find customers and how to make sure that they're happy? Thanks for the insights. Okay. And I've got electrical company where I do writing houses and maintenance electric appliance. How can I get funding? Cello, just contact us. My team will be able to just guide you step by step. We're asking you a couple of questions and we'll then be able, okay, this is what you do. Okay, now we are finished. I wanted to answer the questions. Please forgive me, Solela.
No worries, no worries. Dagmar, I want to thank you again, and I want to thank you, Sekhukhune, my Sekhukhune team, for coming up with this masterclass, and I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who participated and actually attended this. As I've indicated, the recording will only be available next week. I'm not available tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to edit and upload it. But definitely next week it will be there. It will come with it's likely to come from Dagmar with a link to YouTube where you can watch it. Not only that, Dagmar will also have the link shared on her social media and social media platform, i.e. Facebook. I know she's quite popular there. I thank you so much. Dagmar, your parting words.
Okay, thanks very much, Wadhwani Foundation, Xolela, all of you. I definitely had fun here. I love to do these things. And I also love to answer here all the questions. I'm wishing you lots of success in your endeavors. Don't give up easily, okay? It is a bumpy road, I can tell you this. It is worth it. Yes, think about outside of the box, how to overcome challenges. Don't think I need a vehicle. Maybe that's not even the problem. I'm sure there are other solutions, like we just also discussed here with Onika. And it will be for all of you. There are always solutions. You just need to find the ways. And lots of times it's trial and error. Okay, so I can say that out of my own journey. And some things are working and some things are not working. So thanks very much. I'm wishing you all the best. Lots of success. And I hope I see you soon.